Hi Kiwi, and welcome back to a new episode of Air the Old Memories. We're picking up roughly where we left off. Unfortunately, as it turns out, when you save and quit in this game, you get teleported back to the start of the temple as if none of your progress had ever been made. So I've spent the last 15 minutes just kind of retreading where we've already been. But hopefully, that minor setback aside, we're going to keep exploring this temple while I ramble about Avatar: The Last Airbender. And I decided in this episode, what I'm largely going to be talking about is the bending styles, because I find just elemental manipulation as a whole fundamentally interesting, but the way they use it in Avatar: The Last Airbender particularly so, because I mean, you see it in a number of forms of media. Someone has fire bending powers, someone has water manipulation powers, and usually, and certainly earth magic and air magic is there too, although usually wind magic and air magic is more kind of like making blades out of wind, or certainly flight. But I feel like Avatar just has such a creative spin on how elemental control can be used and how it interacts with the world and the nations that are founded upon those power systems, even more so being probably the most interesting part of the show. The air nomads are adaptable, constantly moving and adapting to new locations. The earthbenders make these large stone kingdoms. One second, we've got some commentary. Let's see. It seems as if this door has been stuck for a very long time. Wonder if there's even anything on the other side. So the earthbenders, they make these large stone kingdoms that lock them in place. The waterbenders are centered around having canals and means of transporting themselves across their element, and firebenders are use their fire to craft metals and forge steel and inevitably weaponry. But it's just it's fun to see how those elements kind of shaped the cultures that stemmed from them, or I suppose. No, I like that. I like that frame of mentality. The culture stemmed from the abilities that these benders had to help shape their nation, and I with that in mind, I guess the first question I want to just think about is kind of more of a personal reflection of, like, if I were a bender, what element would I bend? And I mean, certainly I've done those old social media quizzes that everyone does at some point in their childhood of, what bender are you, or what character from this show are you, or whatever those things are, because of course I did. And ooh, giant magic hands with a spirit creature. All right, hold on, I think we've got some interesting dialogue coming up ahead. What are you? You must be one of our gods. Do I have my lantern out? I do. Can I talk to you? Oh, hi there. What voice should I give you? Okay, we're going with it. Come here, little bird. A very long time ago, your people addressed me as the Twilight Guardian. Midna? Sitting at the border of dusk and dawn, ensuring safe travel on the paths to the lands of dreams and back again. Even after the Great Divide, I was there, watching as your priestess Kara led her people to the safe shores here in my temple. A long time have I waited for this moment to come. I have grown weak, but for the power I was lent, tethering me to your world. Okay, I got it. Sorry, sometimes these sentences just don't process right in my brain. I have grown weak, but for the power I was lent, tethering me to your world. Listen carefully, little bird. Once again the void has awakened. Okay, that's just a typo, right? Once again the void has awakened with great hunger, this time to devour all that is left of our world. But there is still a chance to stop him. The priestess Kara hid 3 fragments of great power, one in each temple. You have to make the 3 fragments one again. I will give you the part I was given for safekeeping. Without it, I will fade into oblivion. It has been my link to this world since the time the gods were lost to the minds of men. But we cannot wait. Please accept my fragment and finish what was started so long ago. Oh, I see. You're not a fish. You're a person with a robe. That makes a lot more sense, but all right, we are kind of getting the key to the portal of the Twilight Realm from Twilight Princess, it seems, but all right, goodbye, hand spirit thing. Are you just gonna crumble apart now, or are you just... Yeah, okay, bye. Unfortunate, but I mean, they did say they are gonna disappear into oblivion. A sad end to a world that we are just at present kind of guests to, but such is the nature of, I guess, our, what is her name, Ock's journey. Oh, ooh, I wonder if we're getting our first glimpse into the void here. Oh goodness, are we going up against the dark creatures from Journey? Because we're getting vibes of that. Granted, I guess those weren't dark creatures so much as machinery created by the people of Journey to... Oh, what? I definitely walked into that a little too quickly to process what was going on, but I assume this is just our fast travel out of the temple. Full disclosure, I'm still in a hotel, so hopefully the audio quality isn't too terrible. From what I've honestly seen is overall the audio quality seems to be fairly alright. Not sure why our frame rate is dropping though, which is a little frustrating because it was running so perfectly for Hollow Knight. Maybe we just need to restart the computer. But for now, it looks like we've found our first key piece, and now we have to find our other 2 temples. Now, is there any sort of light that guides me to where I need to go? My guess is what I probably want to do is I want to go back to that little campsite where we met, what was it, Diana, I think her name was? And maybe she can guide us to our next destination. I'll check over here because this is a campsite as well, but I'm pretty sure this is not what I'm looking for. I should make a habit of checking the map and seeing what we've got. So, I genuinely don't know where our starting campsite is, but I know it's somewhere in this region. I'll just do a little scouting and see if I can find it. That's where we just left. I guess I'll go up so maybe I can find it from a higher distance. I know there's a lighthouse. Maybe if I find the lighthouse, I can get guidance. I mean, down and to the right looks lighthousey, so let's go that way. Let's travel to the, is it southeast? Southeast, so this way. Let's see if it's over here. The world isn't so big I have to terribly worry about getting lost. And anyway, so back onto the topic of Avatar: The Last Airbender. So I guess the main thing I want to point out is what element do I think I would be a bender of? And my best answer is either air or earth. That self-proclaimed god reaches too far. I hope he stretches himself too thin. Sounds like whatever this god king that the or I think that's what they call them, the god king. Whatever this god king may be, I suspect he is kind of a representative of the void, and we are going to be likely contesting his power while returning balance to the world in some shape or form, I presume. The settlement, so that sounds promising. This definitely seems likely where we wanted to go for guidance on where to go next. Perhaps? Are there any people here? I see smoke coming from over here, so probably. This looks very promising. Yeah, this must be the people we were talking to before. Alright, let's have them give us some updated world events and guidance.
Hey.
Welcome back again, Ak. I hope your travels are easy on you. Erin is over her head and ears with joy that a real bird shifter came to visit, to the point where I'm a bit worried that she will run off somewhere on one of her expeditions. Once in the north, when we stopped for a short rest by the hot springs, she was gone in a heartbeat. We looked all over. The storm of the Howling Peaks was less intense back then, but it was still very cold. We found a cave nearby and went in to see if she had gone there. She has a certain affinity for hidden places. As it turned out, the spirit bear of the north had just recently moved in there. Erin sat on its back, talking about everything between sun and moon. Should I be proud or worried? Well, I always ran away at her age, so who am I to judge? I'm getting all nostalgic here. Pilgrimage, let's see. The next step is usually the archive, so the temple in the east. The ancients built monuments and cities there, more so than the west and the north. John has been there frequently, I know. It's said that the signs of the Great Divide were early spotted in the east. Much of the ruins have been reclaimed by the land, but just continue to the eastern steps and it shouldn't be too hard to find.
It sounds like we're heading eastward next. Fair enough. Speaking of eastward, that's a game that I've thought about playing on this channel. Does anyone have any interest? I don't know much about it other than it was produced by Chucklefish, which are the same people who did Stardew Valley specifically.
Hello, Ock. It looks like if you're looking for Medvin, he is in the cave here in the village, probably studying some tablets. But what about a story? Maybe about how I met Dana, no? One day I followed a honey-colored doe across an island in the east. The most beautiful doe I had ever seen. Suddenly I missed that line, oops. There she was, standing next to it. She smiled at me and my heart was hers. Dana, not the doe, dummy. It was the first time I visited the lands of the gods. I was chosen to take care of its lands while she was to inherit the duties of Okara's shrine. Pity that the shrine caved in. From what Dana and I said, it might not be possible to rebuild it. I'll try at least. Anyhow, where are you off to now? Maybe the east is next in line for a visit? It's a bit wilder than the western islands, and there are many ruins from the time of the ancients there. I think the most impressive place is Lifla's Grove, home to Lifla, the spirit deer of the land of gods. In the grove grows a most remarkable giant tree, like a storm cloud, that one. Lifla hasn't been seen in ages, but it's said he saved the tree from the Great Divide. The ancients built some kind of altar near the tree. So far I haven't found out what it does. Might be worth it to take a look.
Alright, so it sounds like Aaron has probably gone off on an adventure, but here's the cave that I assume Medvin's in, so why don't we go pop in and say a quick hello to him, because maybe we'll find a little bit of lore in this world while we're looking for him too. So anyway, I think airbending is definitely the bending style that I probably resonate the most with. I think if I were to describe my personality, or my overarching personality trait, it would be adaptable. And it's interesting how I say that with the notion that I embody both earth and airbending, because those are usually kind of opposite, at least as far as the story kind of align them.
I can't read this. It's written in a language I don't know, and much of it is broken and almost unreadable anyway. Maybe Medvin knows how to decipher it.
Is that the case for all of these? Yeah, okay. Let's talk to Medvin and see if he can help us translate these stone slabs. Hello there, sir.
Welcome back, Ock. Come look at this. I think I know what you found. The keys to the caretakers. They are described as glowing symbols. So it warped into the lantern, you say. Spectacular. It pains me that I can't go with you, but my back would pain me more.
Ain't that relatable, Kiwi?
What? You actually used the key? It makes sense that they would open the temples, I suppose. But to think my apprentice would converse with the caretakers in person. We all believe the gods were either in eternal slumber or perished. Our prayers have always been to the spirits of the skies and lands, and to our ancestors. I have a bad feeling, child, but if one was still slumbering, you should search for the other caretakers. Questions need answers before it's too late. It seems big changes are coming to our world, and I see you as my own daughter, Ock. Be careful out there. Promise me as much.
Sure. Can I read the tablets now? I assume not. Yeah. Can you... Is that all you have to say?
My first guess would be that the other caretakers will seek refuge in their temples by choice or not. I found a passage about eternal sky rooms in the temples where the caretakers would speak with the ancients. Look for these rooms, Ock.
That's cool and all, but can you teach me how to read ancient language? Does not appear to be the case. Maybe we get to read these later on, though. Or maybe we learn from the spirit animals how to do so. Either way, looks like that's a point of interest for later that hopefully gives us a little bit of world building. Guess we'll start heading to the east then and start seeing what the world has to offer. But I don't know. I have always been the sort that finds the most relaxing settings for myself, either having my feet buried in the dirt or just feeling the wind blowing against my hair. And I feel like when I was a kid, I looked at waterbending and thought that would be the element I was most attuned with. And this was before Avatar: The Last Airbender, I want to say. This was like just me being taught the 4 fundamental elements, probably by Captain Planet, if I had to be entirely honest. I mean, of course, who could forget the most important element of the 4 elements between earth, wind, fire, and water? I always do earth, wind, fire, and air, and then I'm like, wait, something about this is wrong. But the most important of the 4 elements is, of course, heart, right, Kiwi? I don't think there's anything on this island, but it doesn't hurt to take a quick scan. All right, now let's focus on progressing. So to the east we travel. Let's see what these ruins can provide us, and if I see any obvious stone tablets, I'll take a detour to them. You can also probably like not land and just kind of scope out over distance. Oh, here's a deer statue. You do anything? You look cool, if nothing else. Looks like there's at least someone here that maybe we can read the thoughts of, or some spirit. I found an achievement, but because Great Spirit of the Woods, hear our prayers. Guide us safely to she who has been entrusted in your ways and the ways of old. Unfortunately, I can't actually read what the achievements say because for my recording software to pick up a game and let me record it without doing a full screen capture, like to do a window capture, I can't be in full screen. And to put this game in full screen, well, the top toolbar insists on being visible, which cuts off the bottom half of the screen a little bit. So it's just high enough that I can't actually read achievements. Thankfully, it doesn't cut off any of the text boxes, but it feels like it's threatening to do so. It's like just barely maximum distance from being cut off, or the minimum, I suppose. Oh, we're gonna overshoot this. Oh, like, I appreciate how much momentum we get when flying, but it does make it a little hard to stick the landing reliably. Can we this way? Like, I almost kind of wish I had a miles per hour sort of reference here, because I just move so fast. This looks like a point of interest, but not necessarily a point of interest we can strictly interact with. Let's see. Can I go up here and do anything? I get the feeling that we probably have something to interact with that will then point to this and perhaps give us entry access to the temple. So let's search around and come back. Or maybe it's just the remnant of something. It looks way too much like a door, similar to what we saw in the temple, so I have my suspicions we'll be playing with it soon enough. Is there any guiding light? Sometimes there's a guiding light. It doesn't appear to be here, though. Although, actually, this looks like a guiding light right here. Yeah, there it is. Okay, what have you got here, my friends? Let's see. What do you do? Yep, there we go. Okay, so we've opened that portal now, but what does that do? I guess it lets wind pass through it, but does that... Oh, we opened 3 of them, actually, so maybe we have to find all 3 of these and, like, fly through the holes, perhaps? Oh, these are cute little blue deer. Oh, they run from us. Can we not be friends? What happens if I chase you to the edge of the island? Do you jump off? I love that that is what I have to ask. Can I touch you? Can I touch the deer? What if I turn into a bird? Do you not care about bird? No matter. All right, let's go see what this first statue portal type thing is, if we just fly through the hole or if there's something else altogether. Okay, that felt really fancy. Yeah, we have to fly through the holes. Works for me. Where's the next one? That looks like something I'd like to... This must be like a checkpoint of some sort, so let's go ahead and activate this. We found one of these in the Roof of the World, I think it was called. And when we, like, went out of bounds of the... When we went past the map's outer boundary, we just respawned right there. Alright, where is our next one? Guiding lights anywhere? There's one, okay. Alright, so relatively speaking, this game's world is kind of small, which I'm not going to complain about. It just makes it that much more reliable to find what we're looking for. What have we got here?
Of Urza, which we loved, lost and longed for, city of cities bright and dead. The white swan of marble raising her long neck elegantly into the purple sky. Her eyes 1,000 souls swimming the lake of never-ending afternoon in the heart of spring. Her song 1,000,000 hearts praising the beauty of life, undiminished and brief, a petal on the wind of a fall. The white swan of marble folding her luminous wings silently in the ashen dusk, never to be seen again.
I guess it's more lore about previous deities, although it sounds like it's more talking about a potentially human-built city of sorts. Can I go up here? I guess I need to. Oh. Let's just fly around and do a little loop. I do... Again, it's a little bit tricky to, like, fully control this bird, but we're making it work. We're gonna go through this loop. There we go. 10 points to bird. 10 points to bird for hole in bird. What am I even saying? Anyway, so I don't know. I learned the only form of martial arts I've ever studied, and I use the term very loosely as I studied it for maybe a year at most, was karate. My dad, I think, studied both karate and tai chi in particular. And do I maybe need to fly through all 3 rings in a row, perhaps? I think I only saw 3 portals open. Let's see. We've already opened this one over here, so let's confirm. Or maybe our guiding light is back over here. So let's see if there's something in here now. It looks like we've powered this thing and it'll shoot a little beam into the tree, so let's see. There we go. So I assume this door should open now. Perfect. All right, so we're into our next temple, which is inside of a giant floating sky tree. Cool aesthetic, I dig it. What was that? Is it a turtle? I don't actually know what that is. Kinda looks like a cloister. Like the Pokemon cloister, right? You look like you're running from it, so I wonder if that's like a minion of the void, actually. Interesting, okay. Like, I wouldn't have noticed that if I hadn't, like, just caught a glimpse of it in the corner of my eye when I was jumping off the platform. Maybe we're starting to see kind of remnants of whatever this Great Divide was. Inevitably, the influence of the Void tearing this world apart, I assume. I wonder if the Great Divide is the division between the Earth, the lands below, and the Sky Islands that we're sitting upon. Only time will tell. Loading times are a little bit rough in this game, but not terrible. I finally have a separate timer from my recording software so I can check how we're doing. We're about 18 minutes in by my clock. But alright, let's see what's within the Earth. Would I call this the Earth Temple? I feel like that's not strictly inappropriate, but they're all kind of earthy in their own way. We'll call it, I mean, it's more likely just attributable to its spirit. So what's inside the Deer Temple? That looks concerningly ominous, I think. I wonder if that's some of the Void's corruption, perhaps. Let's go take a closer look and find out. What have you got here? Oh, it's the deer spirit. You're trapped within something. Now, what voice should I give you?
Oh, hello. Is that you, Kara? No, that can't be right. Who are you? I need to get out. Out. I am weak. It's the rock. It's not of this world. The rift, further down in the cavern. Close it.
Sure, Mr. Deer Spirit, we'll save you. So I guess maybe the rift is kind of the entry point of the void, perhaps. Ooh, this looks really pretty. I guess that's our rift, though. Interesting. It looks like it's going into, like, I wonder if that's like the equivalent of the dream realm that they were talking about, like the. Well, we'll see. I imagine a lot of this game, I imagine, is going to be us kind of piecing together the full narrative rather than the game explicitly. Well, the game will tell us, but we have to find the things that were to be told, I suppose, is how I would think of it. Looks like things are a little bit on rails in here, so we'll just have to wait for these platforms to cycle to us, and then we can jump. I think that's a little bit too far a reach, so we'll have to wait for this next platform up ahead. And while we're platforming and exploring, let's keep talking about Avatar. So yeah, so when I was a kid, I really did kind of like identify with the element of water, but then I slowly came to the realization that I'm really bad at swimming and very prone to drowning, and that definitely stifled the enjoyment of water vibes as like what bending element would I be? And with that in mind, I found that the answer got closer and closer to air. If adaptability and constantly like kind of moving with the flow of the world, I suppose. I think if I jump, oop, I did not angle that jump right. Hold on, Kiwi. That's embarrassing. So if I were to, I guess it's hard to enjoy the concept of water when I am prone to drowning in it, I suppose. So earth and air just feel more my way, my like place of comfort. I've always, as a kid, one of the superpowers that I was most interested in as a kid was flying, and certainly airbenders can kind of embody that. Granted, it seems like they lost the ability to fly over the years as they kind of gained what I would call earthly tethers, things that wanted to keep them on the ground connected to others, whereas oh gosh, what was his name? Antagonist from, what was it, third season of Avatar from Legend of Korra. They had to give up kind of their earthly coils to leave their feet from the ground.
You did it. I feel much better. Already. I feel much better already. Thank you. I was beginning to fear a fate where I would fade away. Oroku's men took hold of my home. They wanted the magic of this place. I fought for so long. But I am just one, and they were many. So many. At least I kept the most important secret, and it's the one you are looking for too, isn't it? I have what you need. Here, take the key. It was my task to protect it, and so I have. Thanks again, young one. I'll leave the rest to you for now.
Thank you, Spirit Deer. So I assume this is kind of like what we got from the Sanctuary, where we get the key to access the proper temple, where we encounter the god and get their actual, like, relic piece. Fair enough. Looks like we'll kind of have a repeatable pattern, but that should be it for this temple, I suppose, so back out we go. And, I don't know, I feel like if I were going based on my personality, firebending is the farthest from my personality, and every single, like, what percentage of bending do you represent kind of agrees with that. Oh, hello, Spirit Fox, time to destroy my throat again. Wait, what did I do for you? I think I did this one.
Ah, my friend, what leads a bird to the east, and to visit Lifla on top of that? Oh, so she held the key all this time. Use it where it belongs, further east and a dash north, close to my home to be true. But answer me this, how come temples lead downwards when people look up to the sky for answers? It has eluded me for centuries, but that's fine. Humans are special creatures to say the least.
Fair enough. Do you have anything else to say, Mr. Fox? It appears not, since I'm just jumping around you instead of actually talking. Alright, fair enough. There's like a part of me that wants the fox to be the villain, but I know that's not the case. It seems like the fox may have been the leader of sorts for the spirit animals based on one of the tablets we were reading earlier, at least it was their idea to give people the power to whisper to animals and transform into animals. Anywho, so we're going further east and then slightly north. We'll travel straight east for now and then redirect as we see relevant on the map. If I see any obvious interactable tablets that could give us some more lore, I'll certainly take a detour to them, but they seem few and far between, honestly. And when they're there, they're fairly obvious. Like, I'm pretty sure that was one. What is that? Oh, that's a big tower. Okay, maybe that's probably where we're headed. Let's go see what this is. This looks interesting, to say the least. Oh, both of these have my attention. All right, let's go to this one first because this looks less important. We must be traveling extremely fast when the camera zooms out like this. Bonk. It's a good thing we don't actually have any concept of damage in this game. Is this just some sort of like rocky landmark crag sort of thing, or is there like a secret cave, a secret tunnel, if you will? All right, let's bank this way. I'm getting a little bit better at controlling the flight, but it's still. I think probably what I need to learn to do is how to bank more reliably. I wonder if this could be something evil and scary petrified. Most likely not, but I think we have a clear mark of a destination over here. So let's see what's in this little maw of a monolith. A monolith, if you will. Ha 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 ha. I know, bad jokes. Bad jokes aside. This game definitely has an interesting way of creating scale. Discovered the Creator's Shrine. Hello, monks. Goodbye, monks. Alright, is there a big fancy entrance over here? It looks like it's over here. Let's go see what this little set of pillars tells us. Oh, you know what? I bet it's where we use our key to gain access. Maybe? Can I press A? Doesn't appear to be the case. I must be missing something. Or I'm just mistaken and I need to go to the doors here. I don't think so, though. Alright, there must be something else I'm missing. So let's go over here and see if I can't scope around this tower a little bit. I am just going straight down, and I am not a fan of that. Actually, here, let's just do this. Whee! Skydiving! Like, I feel like if I ever went skydiving, I would just... Oh, well, we've waited it out. Fair enough. Are we going to teleport all the way back to that checkpoint? I hope not. Kiwi. Alright, well, since I couldn't find an obvious way to interact with the monolith immediately, why don't we head a bit further east? I will check and see if there's anything on the very top, but it very much does look like this is where we want to interact. It just also appears that we don't have a guiding light to it, so I imagine there's something else we're missing. Maybe this is the final place we end up at, because it's kind of in the middle of the map. That would explain a lot since it is supposedly the Creator's Shrine, so maybe we need to gain all 4 relics from our journey, and I'm just kind of misdirected. So let's travel straight east from here and see if we can encounter anything cool looking. Anyway, so yeah, I remember I took several different, like, what kind of bender are you quizzes, and I never got Firebender even close to getting, I never even got close to Firebender. Most of the time it was like a fairly even split between Earth and Airbender, with like maybe like a 1/4% water. Eastern Steps. Oh, I see a guiding light. Let's go this way. See it off in the horizon. Do we have any relics to interact with? That looks like potentially one over there. Very well could just be a stone, but let's check it out real quick. Just for completion's sake. Oh hey, 2-tailed foxes. Hello, tails miles per hour. Oh, I like your little symbol designs on your shoulder. What have you got there? It's a cute little design. I like it. Anyway, I think I saw a little tablet down here. Nope, it was just a rock. Unfortunate. Fair enough. My brain just can't get the controls straight for whether I want to go up or down. Anyway, where's our guiding light? Over here. Looks like we'll likely have several things to interact with, but this definitely looks temple-y. This definitely feels like where we're supposed to go, so let's... Oh, well... I do wish maybe this game had... Like, this is purely for my own comedic value, but maybe if this game had sort of like a splat sound every time you collide with a surface at this rapid a speed. But I think we're about to open our next temple, and this seems like a good place to likely pause the episode so that if I have to quit out, I don't have to lose all my progress again, Kiwi, because that was, again, a little frustrating just to have to do. But let's watch this cutscene, and then we'll call it an episode. Didn't talk about bending nearly as much as I wanted to, unfortunately. I'm just too busy enjoying the world of this game. But, like I told you, this is... If there were a series I've recorded in recent history that is worth falling asleep to, this is probably it. My goodness, is this a good one to fall asleep to? Just me talking in a more hushed tone. Nothing terribly exciting happening. Just a casual romp through a creatively built world. But with all that said, Kiwi, I hope you've enjoyed watching, and if you're awake, I hope this is helping you fall asleep. If you're sleeping, I hope you're sleeping well. I love you, and I will see you in the next one for some more Air Memories of Old. Talk to you soon.